What is up, everybody? How are we doing tonight? Let me adjust that a little bit. There we go. Awesome. It's good to see you, Vincent Adams. Glad you could catch the stream. Let's see, get this chat working. That needs to be adjusted. All right, while everyone's pouring in here, before we kick off the stream officially, I'm going to tinker with this for a second because that's really weird the way that's laid out right now. Hello, welcome. Why is this so... Hold on, I'm going to try and fix this. Why is this so squished? Huh. I don't know why that's behaving so weirdly. We'll leave it alone for now. Okay. Alright, so what are we doing? We are back at it. Same objective we had last week. We were attempting to do to break the low mass record to Cylero. Didn't get there quite all the way last time. The issue we ran into, we got one mission all the way from start to finish successful, landed on the surface of Cylero, and the total mission mass was like 5.5 tons, which is really light. Unfortunately, it was over the legal mass for the whole Cylero mission. So we're going to attempt it again, and we're going to basically pirate another design for one of these low mass missions. This one was created for the low mass to TT, and TT is the small asteroid moon that orbits Drew. This was the current record-setting attempt for that mission. So it is a 3-stage rocket with we got a jet engine first stage. We have these two little inlet rings here, which are kind of the air scoops. They don't obviously work realistically, but the game considers them to work. So we've got inlet rings for our main engine here. We have our second stage, which is a pressurizer engine, very small. And then we have our third stage, which I believe is another pressurizer engine. And then this component right here is the officiating SRC records block that actually makes everything legal. So we're going to change some things about this design. One, it's too small. This thing is under 1,000 tons, or not 1,000 tons, geez, 1,000 kilograms, 1 ton. It's under a ton, which is very, very light, very small. It's not going to have the performance we need to get to Cylero, I think. It's pretty close, though. So we're going to have to scale this up, which is fine. And then we're going to change the descent payload here. So this guy's literally just a nose cone. Let's see. Oh, excuse me. It is, it's just a nose cone and pressurized engine, and that's it. We're going to need a little bit more oomph in our final stage to actually be able to descend Cylero. A lot heavier planet is going to take a lot more fuel. It's going to take more equipment. We had a pretty good in our one mission last week that actually succeeded. We had a really good landing stage that actually worked beautifully. Let's see if I can pull it up here. Yeah, so this was our actual attempt that made it. This is 6.7 tons, and it succeeded. I mean, this thing worked start to finish. Beautiful design. Tiny little probe core here. So we're going to be redesigning it. I'm going to keep this portion of the rocket right here because I actually was really happy with how it works. So we're gonna start our build around this little guy right here. So what do we need to get it the rest of the way? Well, we're gonna need. Is this a separator here, or just a fuel tank? That's an RCS nozzle. Okay, we're gonna need a separator. Slap a separator down, shrink it all the way, and we'll put our first main stage fuel tank. We're going to get rid of all of this, unfortunately. because it's not going to help us for this mission. Make this as small as we can, and then we're going to put a teeny tiny little pressurizer engine on it. What record are we breaking now? We are going for the low mast Cylero record. It's actually the same one we were going for last week. We didn't have a 100% successful mission there, so I'm hoping to get a success here. And the reason we weren't successful, I'll go at it again, just to reiterate, the reason we weren't successful last week wasn't because we couldn't get a rocket. It wasn't because we couldn't get a small rocket to Cylero. We totally did it. But we were 4 tons over the max for what this competition allows, which, I mean, personally, I think it's a little silly that there is a maximum mass allowed for a smallest rocket competition. Because, like, if no one else has made an attempt, then a 100-ton rocket should set the record. But, they said it was too big, so we're going to play by their rules for now. In the meantime, I'm struggling to get this thing to work. Don't auto resize. There we go. Okay, so we've got this is our fairing here. Go all the way down with this guy. Man, this doesn't want to cooperate. There we go. Okay. And shrink it all the way down like that. We'll slap the actual nose cone on it like that. Shrink-a-dink it all the way down right about there. Okay, so this is our absolute upper stage, and we have, how much delta V do we have on this? I've got to configure these. Parachute, inner stage, pixie engine. It is been a minute. I need to think about what I did initially. Interstage here. There was another interstage. What was this other interstage for? Oh, do I have 2 interstages on this for no reason? 1, 2. Oh, maybe I do. Oh, I do. Okay, hold on. We're gonna toss that. That can go. That can go. Okay, now we have 1 interstage. That makes more sense. That stays there. That stays there. Pixie engine, fairing base. So this stage has 2,488 meters per second. So if we can get this stage alone into orbit around Drew, that should be enough to get us all the way to Cylero, just on its own. So what we need to do now is build the smallest rocket we can that can get 450 kilograms roughly into orbit around Drew. And if we can do that, we've got this in the bag. So let's start thinking, what can we do? We've got 3,000 kilograms to work with here for mass. We're going to need an interstage on that right away, which is fine. Shrink that down about there. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Glad to see everyone's coming in here. Hope everyone is having a good night. Let's make this a little bigger. Put another pressurizer engine on it. Okay, so we are at, what are we at now mass-wise? 1.4 tons. So doing good on mass. Let's take a look at our performance right now. Let's see, we got 1 pixie engine, 2,000 meters per second. And then we've got our inner stage, and then our upper stage here. Inner stage. We'll put that there. Parachute, inner stage. Okay. Oh, that might do it. That might do it. If we put the jet engine stage on this guy, that might give us everything we need. Because we're really close. What's our thrust weight ratio? 0.29. Okay, we could do a little better than that. And this is going to be in atmosphere for part of the mission. So we'll scale that up slightly. What does that give us? 0.74. That's better. Doesn't cost us any more mass, and didn't cost us a ton of delta V. Okay, so we're doing, that's pretty good. Let's increase our throat size. That's going to increase the flow rate of fuel. 0.9 for thrust to weight ratios, pretty good. 1.9 kilometers per second, 1,926 meters per second for a second stage. 0.9 thrust to weight ratio. I want to get that to like a 1.0, 1.1 thrust to weight ratio first. Want to make a small sat launcher that's jet powered. Any tips? Well, I'm honestly trying to learn how to do that myself right now. So you're going to see me try to figure this out live. Yeah, so I've got a couple of like the basic things that I know now that you like. There's certain things you need to do, but I've yet to master that process for sure. Right now, I'm trying to engineer this to be as fuel efficient as possible and give me enough. There, 1.08 for thrust weight ratio on that stage. That's pretty good. Okay, now we're going to do our jet engine core. So we're about to figure out if we can do this. Oh, and happy Halloween, everyone. I hope you guys have all had a good weekend. I know I did last night. Me and a bunch of friends went out. We had a proper Halloween party. It was really good. Nice to do some social activities now that COVID is pretty much over. All right, we need jet fuel. We need a jet engine. Let's do let's start with, no, it's too big. I'm just trying to make small adjustments here, maybe like that. Nope, like that. Okay. Let's see our performance, 0.94. Do I need to shrink that in one more? Okay, we'll leave it at that right there. What kind of rocket I'm building? I'm building a rocket that is going to try to set the record for the smallest mass to another planet. So it is a very unconventional rocket, and it wouldn't work in real life, but it's kind of a cool concept. Let's throw some seamless edge on this as well, just to make it look a little nicer. Okay, so this is the rocket we have so far. Not too bad, not too shabby. Let's change the paint scheme up a little bit, darken it. Yeah, and we'll make it smooth like that. Okay, that's good. I like that. We'll have a little darker ring right here. That's fine. Okay, so we've got that set up. Now we need to do the jet engine stage. .95. All right, so let's add our jet engine now. We want that guy. Pretty much no bypass. Okay, this is the part. This is the hard part for these guys because I don't really understand the mechanics behind this. I've attempted this kind of rocket a couple of times before, unsuccessfully, but I know it's possible. People have done it. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna save this for now. Save that for now. We're gonna load up low mass TT. This is the low mass to TT. 0 bypass ratio, 8.5 compression ratio, 50% sized engine, shroud, afterburner on. Okay. Let's try that. Let's load up our last guy here. Nope. Load. Cylero low mass attempt. Let's implement that. I'll leave the 80% size. We'll go with the 8.5. Turn the afterburner on. Shrouds. Let's see. Default. Okay. So what I did, it's a little this is a little bit of a bug, but just something for you guys to think about when you're designing these. I set the shroud on. If I turn the shroud off, it like if I turn the shroud on and then like actually build a shroud, you'll see my mass went from 696 to 880 here with this shroud. So if I leave the shroud on the engine like that, and then I click none on the part style, which gets rid of it, it keeps the mass. But if I go back to having it there and then turn these sliders all the way down and then go back to none, my mass stays the same, which is super weird. Don't know why they have it set up that way. Either way, we can cut down a little bit on the mass of this engine by turning the shroud off like that. So we have a slightly lighter engine. We were at 2.721 kilograms total mass for this rocket. We need, make sure this is jet fuel, and we need air intakes. So what am I going to do? I'm going to find my air intake part. Actually, you know what we could do to make this a little easier? Put that there, shrink it down as tiny as I can get it, and all the way down. There we go. And then let's find our air intake. Is that not gonna connect? Oh, come on, please connect. Okay, dang it. We will get rid of that because that's not gonna work. We're gonna just get a fuel tank, shrink it down all the way like so. Don't need an actual fuel tank here. I just need something to connect my air intake to. And then we're going to get this guy shrunk down all the way. All right, so we have 0 kilograms of Carolox. Might as well make that jet fuel. It's not going to change the weight of our rocket at all. What am I going to do now? We're going to take this guy. We're going to stretch him out. Not that far, though. And give him like 0.01. Give him like 0 thickness. And then this part, turn off the change size thing. We're going to bury this part in the actual craft so you can't see it. It's totally just aesthetic at that point. All I'm using it for is an attachment point for the actual air intake. I'm going to shrink down a little bit. Let's leave it there at first. Grab that part and mirror symmetry. Okay, so we've got our air intakes now. We've got our engine. We've got our staging set up correctly. Inner stage. Let's actually tuck this guy up a little bit into the fuel tank like that. Okay, so we've got engine, inner stage. That's the wrong engine. This needs to go first. Inner stage, inner stage. So we'll put that guy there. Okay, and then fairing base. Inner stage needs to go there. Okay, 4,366 meters per second of delta V for this mission. And then let's take a look at, we've got engine. I think that's basically everything we need for this design. That's basically it. Let's do a little cosmetic stuff before we send it off. I'm gonna put black lines for all of the inner stages like that. We can do some like shiny silver for these guys. Looks pretty good. And then we've got the SRC verification part on here already. Yes, we do. Okay. Got our parachute, got everything set there. All right. 2.658 kilograms. We are 1,000 kilograms under the legal maximum for this challenge. Let's take it to the launch pad. Let's see what we've got here. I think this will be better than what we did at the end of the stream last week. I don't think this is going to succeed on the first try though. So this is where the challenge at this point is going to be learning how to fly this thing with the jet engine, because it's not super intuitive how you're supposed to do it. I might actually have to just watch the other attempt and see what they did. Okay, we've got a good liftoff so far. I don't have gyroscopes on this, do I? May need to put gyroscopes on this. I'm just now realizing, because I can't gimbal a jet engine. We're getting great thrust though. It's really promising. Really high thrust to weight ratio right off the pad. Let's just see what our... Oh, look at that. That's really phenomenal start. Okay, don't have gyroscopes. We need gyroscopes. Let's set that on next. Excalibur, you said you like decorating the inner stages with the channel texture. I'll give that a shot. Also, Zion Mass Research. Yeah, I'm seeing what you were saying about the shrouds. If I missed that last stream, totally sorry, dude. Yeah, totally. That system definitely works. So definitely wasn't meaning to make you feel like I wasn't listening. I actually really do appreciate your guys' feedback. I am not the best at this game. I'm actually not good at this game to begin with. The only reason that I have this YouTube channel, I can edit videos and I'm comfortable talking into a mic, and that's pretty much the only reason that I do YouTube for this game. I like it. I'm just not good at it. I wish I was better. Like I can hardly do any Visi. Like it's like pulling nails for me to try and do Visi. My rockets they're fine, but they're not the prettiest. They're not the most efficient. They're not the biggest. They're just like average in all the categories. So I really do appreciate it. And whenever you guys give me some advice like that or tips, because I need it. I am not professional at this game. Anyway, so we got the channel texture, which I'm liking the channel texture for that. I might change the scale for it, but we'll leave that for now. We're going to do the gyroscopes next, which those need to be way, 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 way smaller. Way smaller. 5 kilograms. That's a more manageable size. We also need battery. I'm just remembering. We'll do 3 of them for now, and we'll see if we can adjust. Do that. We're going to do 3 for now, and we'll adjust their size and power as needed. Like so. And then I need more battery, so I think I'm going to actually increase one of these parts should be a battery. That's a gyroscope. One of these is a battery. I'm just going to pull this whole thing off. One of these is a battery. Where are you? This is the battery, right? Okay, this is our battery. We're going to make this guy bigger. Okay, that increased our payload weight a little bit, but the additional battery will give us everything we need for the extra gyroscopes. I don't want to put solar panels on this if I don't have to, so really trying to limit the amount of power consumption on this. A couple of gyroscopes is probably pushing power consumption for the mission profile anyway. Okay, we got jet engine, got a pixie engine here, we've got this stage, and we have our final descent stage. We've got our gyroscopes for control. What is up, our Stotska ball? Welcome to the live stream. Here we go. We're doing this. Throttle up. Move this over here. Lock our heading. Engage our stage. Going to go ahead and pitch over right away. That's controlling a lot nicer now. Awesome. Awesome sauce. Look at that, guys. Great thrust to weight ratio. I'm going to see if just push this heading over as much as I can without losing control early on. I want to start getting into orbit as fast as possible. Thrust to weight ratio is dropping off rapidly, but that's to be expected. So we are under a 1-to-1 thrust to weight ratio at this point. Which means I'm going to try and go pretty much sideways. That's okay, though. Oh, almost nothing on our thrust to weight ratio. We're barely accelerating at this point. Okay, this is doing us no good. Activating the next stage. All right, we've got a 1-to-1 thrust to weight ratio. I'm going to go ahead and burn prograde for this. We have not 1.5. We've got 900 meters per second of delta V on the stage. Okay, why not a small command pod instead of a gyroscope? I'm not 100% sure if that would be better. I can pull one out and we'll take a look at it. I don't think it's going to be small enough, though. Just when it comes to it, it's going to be too heavy for this. We are not going to achieve orbit on this stage. So what do we need to change? What do we need to change to make this work? More aggressive turn. My initial thought is a more aggressive turnover. See, I think from an engineering standpoint, like everything is here for this to work. Mechanically, everything that we need is here. We're really close to, like, we've got pretty good power levels. Jeez, what the hell are my lights doing? Oh, never mind. They stopped. I think they're cycling I've got these like fairy lights set up around my room, and they cycle which kind of blinking mode they're on, and some of them are really aggressive. We're falling back. Okay, we're gonna leave that one. That's not working. What do we need to do to fix that? We could reduce the amount of fuel that we're taking up on this. This guy is probably a little over full. Now that I think about it, yeah. Fairing jettison. Yeah, we could jettison the fairing a little early. Let me actually, let's take a look at our staging. Let's add a stage. We'll put it here. Throw our fairing out. After our second stage separates, but before our third stage separates is probably a better time for that to go. I think the engine is fine. Pixie gimbal is probably better than gyro. I think these are gimbals. Yeah, we have a gimbal enabled on these. So I don't think I want to change that either. We could like slightly boost performance on that engine. And then just reduce this by a little bit. Okay. Let's try this configuration. We've shrunk down the jet engine stage a little bit. Increased the power of our second stage slightly. So we're just making little fine-tune adjustments here. We're going to try a more aggressive pitch over here initially. I'm just gonna see what our tolerances are here. Like how many like degrees per second can I roll this thing before I lose control? But that's pretty responsive. I remember the last one we did last week when I tried to do this roll maneuver. It was like going unstable here and like crashing. So the fact that this is holding a more stable configuration, like we're not losing command authority here. We're actually able to pitch over. Because the longer I'm low in the atmosphere with this stage, the better my performance is going to be. So having a shallower ascension is going to work in my favor. Okay, I think we've got about everything we're going to get out of that stage. Let's jettison it earlier now. Oh, nope. Need to burn prograde. Okay, this isn't going to work as an attempt either. That's fine. What's our drag at this point? 1.5. 5 kilonewtons, 28 kilograms. I'm trying to like, how much battery do I have? It's a teeny tiny battery. It's a very, very small battery. So I don't think that's going to make enough of a difference here. Let's make sure our RCS is turned off. Well, now that you mentioned monopropellant, I'm going to make sure my RCS is turned off because I don't want to waste that before we actually get to Cylero. We're looking good. Hey, this is actually, hold on, this is actually starting to work. I'll be damned. Yeah, this is pushing into orbit. Let's see how this goes. We're going to bring this down. Okay. Oh, sick. We might actually have it. We may have this one. Okay, we are... How much more delta V do we have here? We have 3,300 delta V left in this stage. Not quite enough to get us into orbit on this one. But real close. Let's deploy that fairing. It's going to increase our delta V a little bit. And let off our final stage here. We have less delta V on it than we should. I don't know why that dropped. 1,300 meters per second of delta V is not enough to get us to Cylero. This will get into orbit though. We'll let this fly into orbit. Because that's progress. Alright, we are in orbit. We have 1,661 meters per second of delta V remaining on this stage. So we lost a little bit of delta V. We're going to have to make that stage a little bigger. But honestly, like if that's it, if we just need to make that stage a little bigger and we're there, that is super attainable. Okay, because like that was the biggest engineering challenge, was getting it off the launch pad, getting it into space. So now that we're here, let's take a look at this. I want to grab just this guy. Let's look at just this upper stage here. Let's stretch it out by 30 centimeters and take a look at our performance now. (2,380 meters per second). That's our optimal performance for that stage. Let's stretch it out a little bit more. Let's do 1.5 meters. See what that gets us. 2.55 meters per second, kilometers per second. That might do it. Put that there. Boom. Boom. Oh, the inner stages are all jacked up again. Okay. I need to turn off the auto inner stage, like the automatic reconfigure everything every time I pull the rocket apart. So we've got this, and then fairing, and then this guy, and then that guy, and then that guy. There, 4,360 meters per second. 0.95 thrust to weight ratio on that stage. Can we give this any more thrust? Like that might be the thing we're missing at this point, is just squeeze a little bit more out of this guy. That increased our mass by 10 kilograms, I think. Going from 0.85 to 0.95. So a 10 kilogram trade-off there. And then we can make our bell a little bit bigger so it's more efficient. Stretch this out a couple of centimeters to accommodate for the larger bell. 2,768 kilograms. Let's take the shot. Let's do it. How much battery do we have? I should have taken a look at that while I was there. Sorry for not actually looking at that, it's not much. I mean, the battery on this thing is very, very small, and the RCS tank on this is very, very small. I'm not using RCS for control for this thing. Literally, the only thing I'm using RCS for is as like a break at the very last stage of the mission. Okay, so we've got a big initial pitch over here. Just trying to build velocity as quickly as I can while we're low in the atmosphere. Right there. We'll let that cruise for a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to pitch up. We've built up speed. We need some more altitude, though. Okay, that might have been too low, actually. Now that I think about it, may need a higher pitch next time. Can I increase this? Is that going to get me anywhere? No, we're still speeding up, but still too low in the atmosphere. Okay, I'm going to just let that keep accelerating. We're under our 1-to-1 thrust-to-weight ratio, which is fine. Okay, we'll go ahead and separate. And we lost control. Okay, we're going to relaunch that. We're just going to relaunch that. Not going to change anything. That was a bad launch on my part. Too aggressive of a turnover. I need to keep it maybe like right at 45 degrees is the magic number here. Throttle up, lock, and lift off. And we will really quickly go to 45 right there. That is 45 degrees. And we're just going to hold 45 degrees, let that burn. And then however much fuel is left on this when we're like half a thrust weight ratio of like 0.5, I'm going to kill that much fuel from this stage, try to reduce that mass even further. We really don't need a lot of mass on this thing. Velocity is looking good. We're coming up on 1,000 meters per second already, so the slight increase to the engine size is definitely helping us there. That's still a pretty... That's less shallow. It's better. 40 kilometers, not too bad. Okay, we've got... I'm going to kill it here in a couple of seconds. Basically, 28% of our fuel left by the time we lose performance on that engine. I'm going to just go prograde. And we're going to burn prograde till we are... Our apoapsis is out of the atmosphere, and then we're going to level out and fly horizontal until we are clear of the atmosphere altogether. I'm also going to deploy my fairings a little earlier. I'm going to see if I can shoot those off at around 50 kilometers, because by the time you're at 50 kilometers, the drag is negligible. So having the fairing on there for the extra 10 kilometers in altitude, I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference drag-wise. It is going to make more of a difference at that point because this whole rocket is so small. It's going to make more of a difference in the mass because we've got that extra little bit of mass that we're having to accelerate. We're going to lose more thrust from the inertia of the fairings and having to accelerate that mass than we are the drag that it's going to generate from being in the atmosphere. So that's the strategy there. We're going to see how that plays out. I'm going to switch to orbital reference frame. It's going to slightly reduce our pitch. That's fine. And we are 54. Fairings away. We have 1,000 meters per second left on that stage. We are looking good so far. I'm actually going to pitch up and hold it there because we are coming up on our apoapsis. We need to be a little higher. That's 60, I want to say. 60.8 kilometers. 61. Okay, so that's holding. We're just going to burn like that for a little bit. There we go. Okay, I'm seeing my time to apoaps tick up, so we're going to go ahead and ignite our last stage here. $11 seconds, 10, 11, there we go, 12. Ooh, this might do it, guys. This might be it. Oh, we're so close. Oh, we're so close. Oh, there's my periapsis. Get it up, get it up, get up. Oh! Shit! Oh, fuck. I went to hit the M key, and I hit the spacebar while I was at it. Oh! Oh no, guys! Oh no! Darn it. Alright, well, good news. We're in orbit, and I'm like 80% sure we had enough Delta V to make the Cylero shot from there. Oh! Oh, the pain. Oh, the pain, guys. That hurts so much. I can't explain to you how much that makes me cry on the inside. Ah. Ah, no. Okay. Not the end of the world. We're gonna make a few more little changes here to the design. Oh, guys. That hurts. That hurts to watch. Bring that out a little bit. And then we need to bring that out slightly. No, maybe leave that at 8. Yeah, we're going to trade the jet fuel for the rocket fuel. That's right. Because we had, I think, 28% of the fuel tank unburned at that point. So let's shrink this down even further. We're at 0.7, and then we'll do... oh, that's too far. We'll do just a short little block there. Bring that down. How big that? This is probably too big too, huh? Yeah, so we can shrink this down as well. Let's 1.4. A little smaller, so it fits. That's probably good right there. Lights flashing again. Yeah, I see it out of the corner of my eye, and it's a little distracting. I'm gonna have to like go over there and just change them in a second if they keep doing that. It's fine. We'll leave them for now. There, it's short enough. Okay. We've got 2.716 kilograms. That's so small. That's such a small rocket. I think we're ready to actually take a shot at this for real. I think we're ready to do this. There's a couple things that I needed to do. First, was it pull up the console, check craft. Yes. No problems found. Okay, so we are legal for the mission in that regard. And you know what? I'm going to add a little bit of Visi program right here. What's the part number for this? What's this guy? This is part 40. We're going to do just a little bit of a Visi program. Oh, do I still have Cal's auto launch on this? Okay. New program. I had Cal's auto launch on this, but we weren't even using it because it's not going to fly normal. What do we need here? We've got... I need to wait until something is greater than or equal to, we're going to say 52,500 meters will cut the fairing. So we need to say altitude ASL is greater than that, and then we will set part number 40 activated to 1. Save to craft. That should automatically deploy the fairing if I had that done right. Check our staging one more time before we actually take it up. That's the fairing stage right there. That stage. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Here it is. We're gonna get it into the orbit, and if it's got the fuel to get into orbit, this thing's gonna work. So we need to be in orbit, and we need to have roughly 2,000 meters per second of delta V left by the time we get into orbit. If we have less than 2,000 meters per second, but more than 1850, it's still possible. But honestly, like shy of a 2,000 meter per second delta V budget once we're in orbit, we're really pushing what we can squeeze out of this rocket. So, man, I'm hoping this works. Let's get this to go away. Jacob Daniel, welcome to the live stream. I see you have the Civil Air Patrol logo as your username. Nice to see a fellow cadet. Well, I'm not a cadet anymore, but, you know, it's good to see that the program still is doing strong. All right, we are coming out here to thrust weight ratio of 2, looking good. 41 kilometers. This one's actually doing better. I think optimizing that first stage mass really helped. We still have a little bit of fuel left in our system, but it's nothing crazy. I'm going to go ahead and dump our first stage. So first stage is deployed. We are at we're at an apoapse of 46 kilometers with that first stage gone, which is way better than when we were doing. Do more Visi videos. There are people more qualified to do some Visi videos than I am. I'll do a little bit. I've got enough knowledge to do little tips and tricks here every once in a while, but I don't have enough to do like auto launches or even like hover scripts are a little above me right now. I'd have to really practice it. Hey, sorry to hear that COVID caused you to quit, man. I definitely get that. I know why. I sympathize big time. So sorry to hear about that, but glad you got the experiences you could before COVID at least. So the pandemic really put a halt on a lot of people's lives. So yeah, better safe than sorry. All right, fairings deployed automatically as intended. So we are cutting down our mass. We have a thrust weight ratio of 1.4 at this point, and we have 1,000 meters per second of delta V left in this stage. We are climbing. We are getting real close here to apoapsis. Okay, I'm not gonna fast forward time at this point. I want to get this right. I'm gonna bring that down a little bit. Okay, here we go. Engine's looking good. 15 seconds, 16. Okay, so our time to apoapsis is going up again. All right, third stage is deployed. And we're going to be close on this one too. Okay, fast forward time again. Just this part takes a little bit. Come on. Get back up there. I see my apoapsis. My altitude is decreasing, which is not a good place to be, and we're very close to the edge of the atmosphere. Oh, there it is. All right, we're positive apoapsis again. Okay, I'm going to throttle down. Got to make this like really nice and controlled here. 30, 40, 50. Is that an apoapsis of 60? We are in orbit. We're in orbit. We have 2,158 meters per second left on this guy. Full batteries, full RCS. I'm going to turn everything off because I don't want to burn all my resources here in low orbit. Guys, we have done it. At this point, this is a mission success. Everything else past this point I've done before. We're going to quick save because we've learned our lesson the hard way far too many times with not quick saving on these things. And we're going to go for it. We're going to take our shot at Cylero now. It is way back here, so we are nowhere near the right position to be in for an intercept here. But we're going to make this work. Okay, I'm going to put this over here for now. Okay, we've got our rocket sitting pretty in orbit right now. Don't need any of these things. That can stay. We're going to time warp until we are in roughly the right transfer angle, which means I get to break out my handy dandy protractor again. We're going to wait one more revolution. Actually, we're going to wait 2 more revolutions. Okay, right about there. Okay. Where is it? Handy dandy protractor time. Let's get a good lineup on this angle here. And I want to see where we stand as far as our transfer angle goes. So let's sit this guy right here on the screen. Line up the dot with the sun. Line that arrow up with Cylero. And we are right around 50 degrees. 52 degrees, I want to say. Which is okay. I think I want to say our transfer angle is like 47 degrees. So let's pull up our data sheet. Cylero transfer angle, we need 47.57 degrees. Okay, so let's take another look at this. Make sure that we're roughly in the right spot. That's 50. Time warping. I've literally just got my protractor against my screen here. That looks pretty close to 47. Okay, cancel time warp, protractor away, and let's plan our burn here. I'm gonna go back to my rocket. While we're here, let's quick save again. Now that we're at the right transfer angle, I'm gonna quick save again so we don't have to do all that rudimentary trigonometry more than once. Pause the game. Let's plan our burn. Okay, we need a lot more juice on this guy. Okay, so that's 1794. 1791. We are a little off. So I'm going to start my burn earlier, see what that gets us. Let's push this out. Still a little off. That's 1800 meters per second. Ooh, that's really close to an intercept. That's really, really close. We are pretty much dead on the money plane-wise. So let's bring the sensitivity way down. We're just, there it is, right there. That's our sweet spot. Right there. Okay. So I'm going to undershoot that. And the reason I want to undershoot that is I want to save fuel in case, because this is likely going to overshoot the maneuver. We're going to lock it, set it to auto burn, and set it to time warp to the burn node, which is right there. The one thing that I don't know if this is going to screw up or not, I'm hoping it won't. It shouldn't. Yeah, it's shallow enough. I don't think it will. Sometimes with long duration burns, what will happen is the computer's not smart enough to realize that it needs to not like point itself into the atmosphere. Because what it does is you've got your curved arc, right? Shit, let's break out the protractor again. You've got your curved arc, and let's say you put a burn node right there, right? Like let's say this is your burn node right here. So your vector is going to look like that, but you need to start your burn maybe a minute or 2 minutes in advance because it's a very long duration burn. So you bring your vector, and all of a sudden, oh no, your vector is pointing through the atmosphere or into the ground. So if you're doing a long duration burn, you got to be really careful about your thrust to weight ratio. We've got a thrust to weight ratio greater than 1, so it shouldn't be an issue on this guy. But we would be pushing a little bit if we had any lighter or any smaller of an engine on the stage. Everything is looking really good so far, though. I'm actually really happy with what I'm seeing so far. I'm going to pin this. 1,300 meters per second left, and we only need about 1,000 meters per second in this maneuver. All right, now we let the auto burn go. Set the throttle equal to 0. Might do that. What I usually do that helps a lot is as we get really close to the end of the burn, I'll slow down time to like a quarter speed. and it lets the physics simulation run more like cycles per second by having it, having the game run 4 times as slow means you're getting 4 times as many cycles per second. So we'll get down to the last 3, 2. I'm going to run it quarter speed now, and this lets the computer kind of compensate a little better. This engine should also throttle really well. Yeah, so there you see it drop down, and that should be pretty much right on the money for speed. We have 357 meters per second of delta V left. So we don't have a lot of fuel to work with here. We knew that going in. We knew there wouldn't be a lot of fuel. I'm going to time warp till exiting sphere of influence. And then we're going to make our correction burn to get us the rest of the way there. So let's set a burn node right there, and we'll see what we need to do to actually get us there. I think we just need a little bit more because we undershot that by design. Oh, yep. Yep, there it is right there. That's our guy right there. I'm going to bring our sensitivity down a little bit, see if we can adjust that a little bit. I think that's a collision. Yep, that's a collision course. So if we get that 100% perfect, then we're on a collision course with Cylero after this burn. .6 minutes. Okay. I'm going to run this at a quarter speed. Like I said before, running at a quarter speed makes it more accurate, and I want as accurate of a burn as possible here. Oh, this is a very, very high precision maneuver we're pulling off. We've still got several hundred meters per second of delta V. That was a little off still. We've got our intercept, though. We've got our intercept. I'm going to quick save again. That's good. And then let's see here. We're going to want... How far off are we? Sphere of influence. What's our periapsis right now? 2,790 kilometers is a pretty small periapsis. So what I'm going to do, we're going to go back in time here. And right at the apoapsis of our current orbit, there, I'm going to make the adjustments right here. So we want to slow down a little bit. Is that going to get us closer? I wish I could see the actual periapsis better. Let's undo that. Okay. That's a collision. Right there. That'll do it right there. Okay, lock that in. That's a collision. And we only need 8 meters per second of delta V to make that maneuver. Same thing, quarter speed. It's an 8 meter per second delta V maneuver, so I really want this to be as high fidelity as possible, as accurate as possible. That's some good coffee. All right, we are 10 meters, 9, 8, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 centimeter per second. Does that have us on a collision? We are on a collision course, baby. All right, making another quick save. We still have 6% of our fuel tank left to do any last-minute maneuvers here, which is great. That we're sitting so good right now for this mission. So I'm going to time warp forward, kind of creep it forward. I don't want to overshoot this because we have a lot of high precision maneuvers to do here at the end. Looking good so far. Looking good so far. Everything is going super swell. Oh, there we are. Okay, we are in Cylero's sphere of influence. We are on a collision course. Can I just go back to what I was doing? Will you just let me... There we go. All right. There's our impact point. We have 300 meters per second. We can change that impact point if we want to. And I do want to. I actually want to. I want to change where we hit. I don't want to hit on the dark side. I want to hit on the light side. And I want to hit kind of at a glancing blow as much as possible. And I'm willing to burn a decent amount of fuel to make that work. Because we don't need any more Delta V. Like, this craft will work regardless. But I do want kind of a shallower impact right there. Right? Like, right about there is probably good. Could even bring that out a little bit more. Okay. Alright, lock it. We're going to do one more maneuver here. And then the last thing I'm going to do right before we impact the atmosphere, I'm going to burn all of the rest of my fuel. Slow down time. Really get that super accurate. Super precise there. How do I manage like super accurate maneuvers? Gravity assists feel impossible to plan. I still don't know how to do gravity assists consistently. Except for like trial and error and then getting lucky. I've done a couple gravity assists, but it's not been like, it hasn't been like, oh, I did the math and then got a gravity assist. It was more like, oh, hey, look, I just realized that I have a gravity assist and now I'm going to take advantage of it. So I'm not the person to ask about that. As far as like when you start introducing like other bodies and other like orbits and multiple in and out through different patched conics, that's where my knowledge breaks down. But just doing basic stuff like this, it's all Hohmann transfer orbits. So if you know how to do a Hohmann transfer orbit, you can do pretty much all these maneuvers that I'm doing right now. And what a Hohmann transfer orbit is you basically burn at the at your periapsis and your apoapsis. That's the thing you need to be thinking about. You burn when you're like increasing your orbit. You want to burn at your lowest point to push your highest point as far as you can for the most efficiency, and then you circularize by burning at your highest point. And you can like look up on Wikipedia Hohmann transfer orbits. They have a lot of information. That's where I learned how to do most of it. They're not super complicated. I also, Excalibur's right. I did do a video on that a while ago, over a year ago, going through the basics of how to do orbital mechanics in this game. Honestly, that video is a little lackluster now, and I know a lot more about it and could explain it better now. But, it might be worth looking at just to get like a primer on the subject. Okay, here we go. We are almost there on this guy. We are very close. I really am trying to take this as slow as possible. So what we're going to do right before impact, throttle up all the way. I'm going to burn every last ounce of fuel here. Just reduce my speed as much as possible so I don't have to deal with it later on. Okay. And we kicked that guy clear. And I'm going to deploy my parachute already. And the reason I'm deploying my parachute already is to kind of, it's not a bug, but I'm taking advantage of somewhat inaccurate physics modeling for parachutes. So I'm gonna let my parachute do all of the braking for me. We are about to hit atmosphere. All right, we have hit atmosphere, and that parachute is hauling through the atmosphere right now. Crazy wide swings, but we just dropped 3,000 meters per second with that parachute, so I'm not complaining. I don't know why it's still doing it. That's fine. It'll stop oscillating eventually. So we're at 100 meters per second and dropping nice and slow, nice and controlled. Here is where this is going to come into play. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of UMap view. I want to pull up my view there. We're locked retrograde. I just want to be locked in the vertical at this point. We've got a couple more seconds here. My RCS is on and translation mode is enabled. So I'm going to hit my W key, my forward key, and kill my last 30 or 40 meters per second of velocity as we hit the ground. So here we go. This is it. Do or die. 36 meters per second and dropping surface velocity 300 meters. Firing that RCS thruster. Boom. Decelerated almost all the way down. Couple more puffs. Couple more puffs. And what the hell? Okay, we hit the ground at 8 meters per second. We hit the ground at 8 meters per second, which is slow enough, and we glitched through the surface of the train and exploded. This is a success. This is a success. I want it for the record. This is 100% a successful mission. Weird train physics glitch at the end there aside, that worked. Everything about that worked, and it worked as designed. Yeah, kind of okay, weird at the end there, but you know what? I'm super excited with how that worked because this does it. This sets the record. That doesn't count as the official take. I'll actually have to record and upload an official take for the record, which I'll do at a later date. But yeah, that's it, guys. We set the record. We didn't break any records. We set the record because no one's actually attempted this as of yet. So before I finalize the design, let's take one more look over this. What can we reduce in mass? What can we make better? Shorten that nose cone. That saves us 3 kilograms. We still had a little bit more. I think we had like 10% of the fuel left in this guy, so I'm going to reduce that even farther. I don't really want to change the amount of fuel in either of these. I'm going to change this guy and this guy both by 1 click because I think we can afford it. That is oh, the other thing I didn't test, we should test. How much do these weigh? 6 kilograms a piece. It's not much. Not much. Oh yeah, these gyroscopes. So these are 3 gyroscopes at 4 power for 12 units of power and 15 kilograms total. What if we did 2? What if we did 2 gyroscopes? Let's make sure I grab the right one. And we increased the size to decrease the mass, if that makes any sense. Okay. These now weigh way too... Okay, that's too much. Let's go 0.01 and shrink these a little bit. Okay, that's 6 kilograms and 5 units of power. Let's make that a little bigger. 7 kilograms and 6 units of power. One more. 7 and 7. That's 14. 8 and 9. 8 and 10. So 16 and 20. Okay, so that's more efficient. It's slightly heavier, but we definitely got a lot more control out of it. Actually, no, we can shrink that down a little bit. Let's make that smaller. That's too big. Right there. That's okay, that's too many clicks in that direction. 7. 7 and 7. 6 and 6. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna go with that. What record are we doing? This is the lowest mass to Cylero mission, or record. So that is what we're doing tonight. And then let's take a look at maybe shrinking down these a little bit. I think this one's clipping the engine a little bit. It is. Let's shift that up a little bit so it's actually in the inner stage. That's better. Okay. 2,663 kilograms total mass for the rocket. That shaved us off, I think, almost 100 kilograms from our last design. Okay, that looks good. That looks really, really good. Let's say we put some aesthetics on it at this point. So we're gonna do some decoration parts. First off, we need a name for the rocket. We need to come up for a name for this guy. Every good rocket needs a name. So let's do a text block here. We'll give it my username's initials, ISS. We'll play around with this. While I'm playing around with this, you guys give me a name for this guy. Font size, make that bigger. Width, make that smaller. Too small. Oh, I need to put a space here, don't I? There we go. There it is. Curvature. Okay, so that's that'll be our logo. Name it Ant, because it's so small. I think we can do a little better than Ant, but I like the idea, so we could go Insect. Maybe something a little bit cooler sounding than Ant, though. Or maybe a specific type of ant. I like the insect vein. Let's go down that route, but let's change it up a little bit. Okay, so we'll do white lettering there. And we'll do two-way symmetry on this part. Also, I want to put some names on this too. For everyone who helped out tonight, everyone who's been giving me tips and tricks or hanging in for the live streams, I want to put some names on this thing. So let's leave some space. Let's find a spot to throw on a bunch of names. And make these decoration parts as well. Decoration. Copy that. Everything that isn't part of the actual design has to be a decoration part. Butterfly. Okay. Butterfly. Almost, I prefer ant to butterfly, honestly. No offense. Any other insects? Any flying insects? A good, like a cool sounding flying insect is kind of what I'm looking for. Wasp comes to mind, but wasp is a little cliche. We could do hornet, but that seems a little cliche too. I don't know. I'm asking you guys for help here. What do you have? What do you want? Okay. Also going to. Can I resize this? Is it okay to resize this? It's ugly. Dragonfly. Dragonfly works. Yeah. Okay, I think Dragonfly is my front runner now. Still looking for ideas, but Dragonfly is currently the front runner. Bullet Ant, okay. Bullet Ant's a little bit. It's still ant, but it's more specific. You know, it's more detailed than just ant. Let's think of what other like aesthetic things can we do to make this look a little better. We could do some struts. Oh, actually, while we're here, I need to make sure advanced Tinker panel. Include and drag, no drag scale. Okay. Flying beetle. Flying beetle seems a little wordy. Something a little bit more succinct, you know, a little shorter sounding would be ideal. Dragonfly was good. Like Dragonfly's a good length of name. Flying beetle's a little too long. Ant's a little too short. Honestly, like I would almost like ant, but it's too short of a name. Keep coming up. Let's keep brainstorming. Dragonfly's still in the lead, so if we can't come up with anything else, we'll stick with Dragonfly. Also going to put some cameras on this. Everyone likes a good camera. Rotate that. And rotate. Nope, too much. And then we'll just shimmy that into the rocket body like so. We're going to call it decoration as well. And Tinker panel. Include and drag. No drag scale. Blah, 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 blah. Mass scale 0. Silver Hornet. Silver Hornet's kind of okay. It's long, but I feel like when I say long, I'm thinking more like syllables. Flying beetle. Flying Beetles 4. Silver Hornet. I guess that's about the same length. I like Silver Hornet though. It's still long, but I like that over. I don't know if that takes Dragonfly yet, but I do like it. Bumblebee. Bumblebee's a good one. Bumblebee's like a copyright infringement. Um, that sounds too much like Transformers, which is not a movie franchise I want to endorse. The Dart. Okay, Dart's good. It's a little longer than we're off of the insect naming scheme, but I still like the Dart as a name. Oop, wrong one. Okay, let's while you guys are figuring out the name, I'm gonna put this here. I think we want Future Earth. Let's put Dragonfly on for now. How do we format this to work nicely? We could do it around it like that. Make it longer. More curvature. Is that all the curvature I've got out of this? Dragon Dart. I think we're maybe warping it a little bit with Dragon Dart. Is that all the curvature I've got out of this? Because that's like coming off the side. Okay, can't do that. That's fine. We could go stack it though. Dragonfly like that. I think Dragonfly is going to have to take it. That honestly, Dragonfly is a good one. Bolden that outline. We're going to do the white. We need to make that font bigger though. Not that big. That's a good size right there. Right there. I got nothing else. All right, we're going to go with Dragonfly. Dragonfly was a solid suggestion. Why fight it? Bolden that outline a little bit. Okay, so we've got Dragonfly. We got my logo down here. Bolden that a little bit. We need to put some names on it. So Excalibur, for sure, you're getting on here. Who else? Who else wants their name on the rocket? People who've been around for a while. I want the guys who've been watching these streams for a little while to get some recognition here. Excalibur, you're on. There's a couple other people that I was thinking of who weren't here earlier, but definitely deserve a shout out. So we're going to go, let's see, add another text block. Right there, 270. Smaller font size, just to fit them all. All right, Excalibur Aerospace. Who else? We've got Zion Mass. Zion Mass, you're using, if you're still here, dude, your username's a little long, but we're going to go Zion Mass. Just leave it at that. Who else? Dayjump. Dayjump, I promised Dayjump he'd get an astronaut named after him, and I'm still going to do that, but I haven't done it yet, so for the meantime, his name's going on here for sure. Vincent Adams, I've seen you several streams now. I'm glad to have you. We're going to throw your name in there. Awesome. Anyone else? Who else wants to be on the rocket? Who is still here that wants to have their name on the rocket? Okay, can we make that any smaller? Is that as small as it's going to get? I wish I could make that more curved. We'll make it taller, I guess. Nin with a bin. Nin with a bin, you're on for helping with the name. Nin with a bin. Jacob Daniels, a fellow former Cap Cadet, you're on. Anyone else want to take a shot at it? Want to put their name on there? Okay. Those are on. I'm going to change the color of this. Could we do black? There, that pops a lot better. And we'll do, you know what, let's put a little flavor text on there. Thanks to support. Thanks for the support. We'll write that. Nice little note here. Perfect. All right. Who else? Who else? I think Pedro's gotta have his name on there. Yeah, Pedro deserves his name on the chart. I can't remember the numbers. What's his 16797. We're gonna throw his username on there as well because he helped a lot with getting this design going. 16797. Boom. Anyone else? I mean, there's a lot of space here. Vertical anchor top. Let's shrink this up. Down. Right there. Perfect. All right, I think that's going to be it for names for now, at least. Thanks to the support of all of you guys. I really appreciate you tuning in for the live stream tonight. It's going to be a little shorter. I'm actually going to leave it here because that was our successful mission. I mean, this thing works. It got us all the way to Cylero. We did it. That was a successful launch. A couple small tweaks to the mask, but the mission itself is not going to look any different if we do it again. Just a few like little optimizations here and there. Try to push that number down as low as we can get it. Thank you guys so much. I so appreciate all of your support with this. This has been actually a really fun challenge to undertake, and I really like the outcome. I like how this looks a lot. I'm very pleased with the design of this rocket. I'm just so glad you guys could be a part of it. You know, I really enjoy. It's one thing to like sit in your room alone and like tinker away at something like this. It's another thing to do it with people, and so I've really enjoyed doing it with people. Even if you guys are just passively watching, it makes the whole process so much more enjoyable. So you know what? Thank you guys again so much. I hope that you guys have a great night, great rest of your week, and I will be posting a video of this mission fully, you know, just start to finish, edited nicely, make it look good, but still that'll be the official that will be the official submission for the record. And if you guys are in the Simple Rockets chat, you will hopefully see my record up on the records wall. And hey, maybe we'll do another record after that. So you guys have a good night. Take care, and I will see all of you in the next video.